Holding a Siman with Ches, Seif Aleph. So says the Mechaber, Hashmas kol b'klishir, to make sounds with a klishir, with a musical instrument, is also to do it on Shabbos. But to bang on a door with something that's not derech shir, it's not used for music, then it's mutter. So the Mechaber himself basically gives one chiluk he gives. If it's shir, if it's something that is musical, then it's awesome. If it's not musical, it's just knocking on a door and it's making noise, then it's not derech shir, therefore it is mutter. Hagar says the Ramah v'chein imlei avid ma'isa shari. And also another heter, if you're not doing anything, not doing a ma'isa, it's mutter. V'chein elu shekorim mechavreim. There's people who call their friends and they whistle with their mouth. K'may tzipor mutter l'asosei b'Shabbos. It's mutter to do it on Shabbos.
Because that's not a ma'isa?
Because it's not a ma'isa. You're not doing anything. Using your mouth, not using a kli, is mutter. The reason here is because the whole issur of Hashmas kol, the whole issur of making music, noise, there's no issur in itself to play a musical instrument on Shabbos. You want to go ahead and play a musical instrument on Shabbos in itself, there's no issur. What's the issur? The Rabbanan asked it because shemoneh-esrei kli. You're going to come to fix it on Shabbos. So it's examined to Rabbanan. You can't use musical instruments because you're going to come to fix them on Shabbos. In the Beis HaMikdash, where every Shabbos was mutter, you could use instruments on Shabbos. So playing an instrument that it sounds like to us, it's like an issur deraisa. It's one of the Gil Averis Chamuris, it sounds like. But really, playing an instrument on Shabbos, these days it became very also. But really playing an instrument on Shabbos, it used to be times of the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah, they had chassanas on Shabbos, and the Goyim played music on Shabbos during the chassana. So really, playing a musical instrument itself on Shabbos is only listed in the Rabbanan because of shemoneh-esrei kli. You'll fix it on Shabbos.
Yeah.
So therefore, using your mouth or whistling with your mouth, so there's no problem of fixing it because you're not using a kli to make the noise. So therefore, it was mutter to do it on Shabbos, even if you're doing it musically, even if you're whistling a tune. Says the Ramah is mutter. It is whistling with your mouth is mutter in all cases. Okay, we'll see more about this soon with the Magen Avraham. But then the Ramah says, "V'aso lahakos b'Shabbos al adeles, v'tabas hakavur b'deles, afapi she'einoi mechaven l'shir." You're not allowed to use a door knocker on Shabbos, knock with a door knocker on Shabbos, even though you're not doing it with shir, you're not doing it as a song, as music. Still, it's also why. Since it's miyuchad l'kach, it's also. So now we have here a new thing in the Ramah. I'll see soon, is this arguing on the Mechaber or not? But the Ramah says a new thing now. You have a kli ha-miyuchad l'kach, a kli that's set aside for making noise,
a ring,
even though it's not musical noise, any noise.
It's not.
If it's kli ha-miyuchad l'kach, if it's just meant to make noise, therefore it becomes asur on Shabbos.
Is this a subset of shemoneh-esrei or in yet another reason?
No, this no.
Is what?
No, shemoneh-esrei.
So it's
same thing. It's maflekus in the Gemara. Where they ask for klishir, kli ha-miyuchad l'kach. The nice of the Gemara comes out also with the chumrah of kli ha-miyuchad l'kach. Same as shemoneh-esrei klishir. We'll see later on also. Clapping on Shabbos and dancing on Shabbos. All these things are shemoneh-esrei klishir.
What was the concept of clapping?
and weird.
I'm just saying,
It's all part of dancing, clapping, all these things. Is if you do musical things on Shabbos, they end up fixing a cliche on Shabbos.
That's why sometimes people clap like this.
So for a chayad, maybe a heter.
Right, but then we have to make a distinction between the top of the quote with you.
No, the top stuff is you're not doing anything. You're just with your mouth. Why is your hands different? Good question. We'll see when we get to the Siman test. Yeah, why is the hands different than dancing? Why is dancing different than using your mouth?
Right.
Okay, so we get to the test. But here the issue of a clear miyuchel comes from the same issue of semi-sakin kli, and therefore it is the Ramah says it's also. Since it's clear miyuchel also. Also the shamish, the hakos aladelas. Therefore the shamish used to go around. The vecker used to wake people up in the morning. He is also for him to knock on the doors. Shabbos morning, likra the beis hakneses idea clear miyuchel and the makkah b'yodei aladelas. So now they used to have a clear miyuchel l'kach. They used to go around knocking on the doors of a certain keli. But that kli, they now let use on Shabbos because it's kli hamiyuchid for making noise. A kli that's set aside for making noise, the Ramah asks.
Right, but presumably you just use your hands and all.
Yeah, you use your hand. Your hand is fine. We'll see soon. The Gra says not the way, but pashtus, as long as you're not using a kli hamiyuchid l'kach, it's mutter. So that's basically the Mechaber and the Ramah. The Mechaber says a kli that's making music, it's aser. It's not making music, it's mutter. And the Ramah says that if it's miyuchid l'kach, it is still aser.
And there's no problem with just knocking with your hand, but making it into like a melody or something, something like that.
To make music with the we'll see. Using, no, if you do a pattern, it's not called music really.
It's not music. Okay.
No. So learn to know who you are. Yeah, but
your wife, I'm coming along.
If you look here in the Biur Halacha, it's interesting. Biur Halacha. So we just have now basically the Mechaber and the Ramah. The Mechaber says shir and not shir. The Ramah says clear miyuchel l'kach is also will go by Richa Sittis, and we'll see the Mogen Avram. I just want to point out to you there's the Biur Halacha over here. The last Biur Halacha on that page. The last line, Lahakish aladelas. The last line.
Yeah.
Ava lahakish aladelas. Ubira gra kasav the ikar bezeh kedas hayushami shemachmer bezeh. What does that mean? V'nei daitoi kedas harach hamuba berif ayin sham. That any type of noise is often. Ach ha'olam noegim v'hakol kedas hashavanarach. So the Gra holds the Biur Halacha. The Gra holds that any type of noise the Ma'aseh is awesome. And then the Biur Halacha has a kasha on that. We see you are allowed to make noise. And if you look at the end of the Biur Halacha, he says, "Mukamokem nira." It's like 2-3 lines from the bottom, from the end of the Biur Halacha. Mukamokem nira. The lahakish aladelas. That means the Gra holds if you have a mind to make noise, even knocking, without a kli hamiyuchel l'kach, it's going to be aser. That's what the Gra holds. Says the Biur Halacha, but even according to the Gra, the hakish al delach k'la'ach hayad muter l'kul alma avsha kavanasa lahashmiya hakoil. Even though you have a mind to make noise, but the other malahaka is kaf al kaf. To pat your hands, the gamasham kavanasa kedel hashmiya koil full hachim makeup shefanach v'shalam v'teshiv gimalayin sham. So there's a synthesis Gra, which most people don't go with the Gra, and the Gra holds any noise is awesome. As long as you're mechaber, you have a mind to make noise, it's awesome. So this, if you want to knock on a door on Shabbos, according to the Gra, even though you're not using a door knocker, you're using your hand, it's awesome. Because you're not allowed to make noise on Shabbos. Any type of noise.
Whistling, clapping.
Yeah. No, whistling maybe not. Whistling is not called the Maisa. We'll see why. The mouth is not called the Maisa.
What if you're sipping your coffee and it goes tinkle tinkle on the cup?
You're not mechaber for the noise. You're not mechaber for the noise. If you're mechaber for noise, maybe yeah. But as long as you're not mechaber, you don't have a mind to make the noise, there's no issue. There's no dipsik ratio over here either. See later on. No dipsik ratio on the noise. But, so according to the Gra, you want to knock on the front door of your house, you're not allowed to knock regularly. You have to knock halacha-theory. That's why a lot of people, when it comes time Shabbos, machmirim, you see when they knock on the door on Shabbos, they go like this, the back of their hands. They don't knock regular. They knock with the back of their hands, with the halacha-theory. Because of the Gra. So that's the third shita that the halacha brings down. Most chumrah shita that not even a semichal lekach, even a regular knocking, regular noise on Shabbos is also according to the Gra. Okay, now let's see the Magen Avram here. So the Magen Avram says the klishir. Anything that you're doing derech shir, anything you're doing, even if it's not miyuchad l'kach, anything you're doing derech shir is awesome. So here comes out according to the Mechaber. The Rama doesn't argue on this, that not just a kli shir is awesome. Anything that you're using to make music, any type of kli that you're using to make music is awesome. Even though it's not a kli shir, it's not meant for music. Anytime you're making noise, if you don't have a mind for simcha, which means for shira, if you are in shamish and mekashkes l'beis hakneses, chayitz b'zeh muter, v'yizurua ad kam l'shayla. So the Amshel Shlomo holds that as long as you're not doing it for simcha, it's muter, even if it's milchad l'kach. Not like the Ramah says. Because goes, my min is the muter laniach tabash yesh bo yaferes mashmiya koil ayam asher ksabet shin al sifkav gimel. So this is also a very important halacha. Goes, my min says they used to have rings. They had in it a ferret like a piece of lead, and then when you move your hand, it would make noise. So the Goes, my min says that's muter. Why? Because you're not mechavet to make noise with it. You're not mechavet for the noise. It happens to be there's a piece in there that makes noise, and even if the reason why they put it in originally is that to make some noise, it's still mutter. Why? Because you're not wearing it to make noise. You're wearing the ring because you want to wear the ring. So here's a heter. Any time that you're making noise with something where you're not mechavet to make the noise, it's mutter, and you don't have to worry about it. That says the Magen Avram, if you put water in a kli full of holes, and it would drip down under it. The water would drip down onto a metal thing and it would make noise as it drips down onto the metal thing. In order that it should have a nice koil, he called it dizamzimi, some type of music. Also, why? To have a like a klishir, it's like klishir and it's also. So here also, even though it's not really a klishir, but you're doing it for music, therefore it is also. It's also to do it. So it is muter. So now we say like this: if you're doing something that's not a klishir itself, but you're doing it in order to relax somebody, that's called like klishir and it's awesome. So the same thing, if you're knocking on a table or you're doing something like that in order to relax somebody, that's the same answer over here. You're doing it derech shir as a soothing sound, then it's also, it's like shir and it is awesome. Even though you're not using a kliyam yuchalakach.
Knocking on a table usually is annoying somebody.
Usually it's annoying somebody, yeah. See, so it's an extra halacha here.
Okay.
But if you're not going to, if you're doing something in a rhythm, in order to help somebody fall asleep, let's say, something like that, then it would be also for the same reason as this kliyam of a mayim. Now, if you do it loud, you're not doing it with a pattern. You're doing it in a way that you should wake up somebody that's sleeping. I feel the bari shari. Why? Do they have a ke'en klishir she'ein oisa b'ne'ima b'nachas? You don't do it with. You're not doing it with ima b'nachas. You're doing it in a way of waking somebody up. So here's a big difference how you're doing it. If you're doing it with a rhythm, a soothing rhythm, then it's awesome. If you're doing the opposite, doing it in a loud noise to wake somebody up, then it's already mutter to do it. But now, all the Achronim asking over here on this halacha is that this kli that they had was miyuchad l'kach. It was kli that was meant to wake somebody up. The Ramah holds a kli miyuchad l'kach is awesome. So you have to always keep that in mind. This is allowed to make noise to wake somebody up is only when it's not a kli ha-miyuchad l'kach. It's a kli ha-miyuchad l'kach even though it's not a rhythm, even though it's annoying noise to wake somebody up. If it's miyuchad l'kach, it's awesome. And all the Achronim over here are busy with this Magen Avraham. And here it's a miyuchad l'kach, and they all give different terutzim how to answer it. Some say it's not like the Magen Avraham. And the Tziel David said that kli really wasn't miyuchad l'kach. Whatever the reasons are. So the Ma'aseh, if it's a kli miyuchad l'kach, you cannot use it on Shabbos.
The assumption is the Magen Avraham just agrees with this.
Agrees with the.
Maybe that the Magen Avraham disagrees. No, he holds that.
Like the Mechaber?
Yeah, that it's not miyuchad l'kach. In other words, first of all, does the Mechaber and the Ramah argue?
That's a question.
Right. So that does the Ramah come into be chaylik, or he's just saying, by the way, the Mechaber's case was talking about not miyuchad l'kach. And I'm talking about miyuchad l'kach.
Right.
So if you learn it like that, then this is only on the Mechaber now.
He's going on the Mechaber. He's coming to say that like
correct. He's on the Mechaber now, and he's learning it like the Mechaber. So you don't have to come on to the teretz and to the Kiddush of it.
Yeah. Okay. If you say he's going with the Mechaber, but Mashma is going with the halacha, the Magen Avraham. Mashma is going with the halacha. Anyway, it's not so simple that the Mechaber and the Ramah are arguing. If you look in the Bir halacha over here.
It's not so simple that they're arguing, and not so simple that they're
arguing. Yeah.
Laka, you're right.
If you look in the Bir halacha, the Ramasal Hoyo Bakli Miyuchad l'kach, a very important Bir halacha. Siman b'Mishabura Mashakos b'Shem Elirav Kim Godim v'Zegam Magen Avraham Moedes Osen. The person is stuck. Someone comes to our house, and the only way to get the attention of the people inside of the house is to use the door knocker, which is a kli ha-miyuchad l'kach. Yesh l'hokol. It could be mekel mitam the nuchal lismoich al shittas harif. It could be samech on the shittas harif the she'enoi derech shir mutter. Mutter means even if it's a kli ha-miyuchad l'kach. The shittas harif is that any time it's not derech shir, it's always mutter. Even though it is miyuchad l'kach, it's called mutter. V'lo yadanu ma'ik omar. Says the Bir halacha. The lefim ma'id the matzah gabe seis v'etik v'aramah. The v'kli ha-miyuchad l'kach shani. Gam l'shittas harif the pasuk kerava asen. A kli ha-miyuchad l'kach is asen. And then he says in the brackets. V'ulai yesh lo'imar. Maybe the Kalkalas HaShabbos holds the Svile Midas Sasam HaMechaber B'Stam, since the Mechaber doesn't speak anything out, to the Hakif Al Adelas Mutter, to the Hisne the Dafka B'Kli She'ena Miyuchid, the Mechaber doesn't say Dafka Kli She'ena Miyuchid, Mistama Svile the Ladasa Rif, the Pasha Kerava, B'Chol Gavne Shari. The Kalkalas HaShabbos learned that the Mechaber is mounted even with a Kli HaMiyuchad L'Kach. For a Ramah, the Heavy Dasa Agur, Pligi Alzeh. And the Ramah that says you have to have a Kli HaMiyuchad L'Kach, he's coming to argue on the Mechaber. Umad L'Kasa B'Shem Yesh Aimrim, if the Ramah is coming to argue on the Mechaber, so let him say, Yesh Aimrim, there's a Kli HaMiyuchad L'Kach, it's awesome. Etzinu Oid, Chama B'Kaimais, Kinyan Zeh, Aval Hu, Doichik. So you see from the Bir halacha, he doesn't like this. He learns that the Ramah is not coming to argue on the Mechaber. The Mechaber doesn't mention Kli HaMiyuchad L'Kach, but he agrees Because it's mashma that from the Seif also. The Mechaber agrees that a kli hamiyuchad lekach is taka also. So even the Sfaradim, who really have the Mechaber to be makel on, I mean, it's hard to say this, but the Biur Halacha holds, who was an Ashkenazi, so I'm not sure if the Sfaradim are sure, but the Biur Halacha, but the Biur Halacha holds that the Mechaber and the Ramah aren't arguing. If I'm not mistaken, there are some Sfaradim that hold that the Mechaber and the Ramah are arguing. And therefore, if it's a bad derech shir, even though it's miyuchad lekach, then we make it. But if I'm not mistaken, that most of the Sfaradim go with the Ramah. And they hold that you need, that if it's clear miyuchad lekach, it's taka also. So we're going to learn now like the Biur Halacha. There's no machlokes Mechaber and the Ramah. They both hold that clear miyuchad lekach is also. Okay, let's say the back to the Magen Avraham. Even to the skip the part. The Imkain. So here comes a famous shaila that the Taz speaks about, and the Magen Avraham speaks about. The Imkain. Kolshkin hani pamoinim shebeperoiches the lesbu iser she'ein kavanasai sheyishma'u b'ne'ima or b'nachas. He says that if you're doing it not for ne'ima b'nachas, you're doing it to wake somebody up or to alert somebody, therefore it's mutter. So it says kolshkin, the things that we have hanging from the pareches. Now, I don't know if anybody knows, but the pareches, the old pareches of the show used to have, when you opened up, they had little bells on them, right? That would make noise. Now we have the crowns for the Sefer Torahs.
Yeah,
they have bells on them.
Yeah,
why do they have bells on them? Anybody know why they have bells?
You should stand up.
You should stand up.
They have bells that you should hear it coming,
right.
And you should stand up. That's why there's bells there. Not just because it should look nice. The reason why they attach bells to the pareches
is worship.
Yeah.
Comes from there.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. So the reason why they had bells on the pareches, when they would open up the pareches, people would stand up. So what were those bells for? They were kli hamiyuchad lashma. They were miyuchad to make noise. So here comes a big trouble to the Achronim. We paskin for sure Ashkenazim that a kli hamiyuchad lashma is also. So what's the heter to open the pareches when there's bells on them? What's the heter to use the crowns, the kashrut Torah that has bells on them on Shabbos? What's the heter? So if you look at the Taz, the bells are ringing, yeah. If you look at the Taz, the Sifkat Aleph, the Taz says, it says the Taz, the kan mashma, the kolshkin, the aser litlates b'Shabbos with suah. Shabbat, Taluya, Remoy, Pamoinim. They have a string that has on it Pamoinim, little bells, ala pareches. Kedei lashmiya, koil, la'anshe beis hakneses. To meshmiya, the koil, to the people of the shul. B'shashem, Matzian, and Sefer Torah. To zeh, iker avidite l'kola. The main reason why he did it is the koil. Ba'oisan, she'oisin, kain, nira, limchait, b'yadam. Those who do it, says the Taz, I think they should be moicha, and should get them to stop doing it. So the truth is, right away, before we get into the other halachas, is that a lot of places can say that we learned before, if you remember this now in the Magen Avraham, to have a ring that has in it a little aferes and it makes noise, it's mutter to do it. It's mutter to wear it on Shabbos. Why? Because you don't have a chaver for the noise. So a lot of Achronim right away argue in the Taz, and they say, you're right. Maybe when they instituted, they put the bells on the pareches or on the kashrut Torah, it was meant to make noise. Today, you ask a person when he puts the kashrut Torah on, and there's bells, and is moving it. You ask a person why the bells are there and why he's making noise. Most people are going to say, I don't know. It's there, so I put it on. We don't know why they're doing it. So they're not mechaber.
They would say decoration.
Decoration. It's a nice decoration for the pareches or for the kashrut Torah. So most people are not doing it for shemoneh-esrei. Most people are doing it because it's nice. Because it's a nice thing to put on the Sefer Torah. If that's the reason why they're doing it, anyway it's mutter. It's not different than the ring that has a feres inside that it's mutter to wear it on Shabbos. So that's one heter they give already to the Preiches and to the kashrut-kosher because of you don't have a mind to do it for that. Right, so the Magen Avraham is somebody attained for it, will see that there's no happening to answer it. But the Magen Avraham over here gives a different answer. What's the Magen Avraham's answer? You're not doing it for shir, just doing it to alert somebody. Anything you're doing to alert somebody is mutter. And then he says, "V'oid kivin the l'chayil koshkel advar mitzvah." For sure, for advar mitzvah here, you're doing it for advar mitzvah. We'll see later on that even dancing and singing at Shabbos for advar mitzvah may be mutter. That's the heter for simchas Torah. So that's a big machlokes, the Chassidim and the Litvaks, but dancing on Shabbos. The simchas Torah, everyone dances. If you're not allowed to dance on Yom Tov, it's also the reason why you dance simchas Torah is because it's a dvar mitzvah, you're allowed to do it. So
there's some shuls that they dance on Shabbos.
Yeah, so why dance on Shabbos? So why dance on Shabbos? Yeah, so why dance on Shabbos? So those who hold they dance on Shabbos, they hold every time they dance on Shabbos is for a mitzvah. Right. So it's always a dvar mitzvah. So therefore it's mutter. So the tiny to that is
they're allowed to also clap hands.
Right. The tiny to that is that. So when's the mechaber answering it? The mechaber later on says also to dance on Shabbos and clap your hands on Shabbos.
Yeah, but I think the shul he had to start before Shabbos.
So what? So when's the issue? When's the mechaber answering it? Anytime you're dancing on Shabbos, it's a mitzvah. So when is the issue? That's not machlokes. So what's called a mitzvah or not? But here, everyone agrees.
A bar mitzvah is a mitzvah.
A bar mitzvah is a mitzvah.
I'm not saying.
You have a one. You
dance around the beam.
You go in a circle.
Yeah.
People dance or not?
That's what I'm saying. So it's always the mitzvah then. What's called a mitzvah?
If that's a mitzvah.
Yeah, it's what's a mitzvah.
I don't know.
A bar mitzvah, yeah. Bar mitzvah not. I mean, I'm not sure what you're calling a mitzvah. Yeah. That's a child, okay.
That's why it says bar mitzvah. See, the mitzvah is there.
Is the mitzvah?
But mitzvah is not there.
We'll see more when we get to Seif Gimel and Shalom test. So then the Ramah says, he says that in the yesh the hakol k'mash kata Shalom test Seif Gimel ba'ago that today anyway is no chashash Hashem b'sakin for this year. So anyway, today you have a much bigger heter. Okay, mashma. Says the Magen Avraham, Shashach Hekel Mishum Notzarech Mitzvah. The Shach argues in the Taz, and the Shach says that it's mutter to have those bells on the Sefer Torah and on the Preiches. Why? Because it's called the Tzarech Mitzvah. Sheyishmu ha'am v'yekumu, the elders should hear and stand up. The Larakat Gam came mutter the Tzarech Mitzvah. The dance also is mutter the Tzarech Mitzvah. When Shekosah Semishon HaMates. Even though the Taz asers, the minig is to be mekel, chemashma, here's the heter we said before, he has no havamina, he's not doing it for kol, that person is not doing it for a
music.
And how do you deal with the kli miyuchad?
That's a good kasha. So this heter of not being mechaven is not a problem. But the only question you have in the kli miyuchad is right away in the beginning of the Magen Avraham, but is the dama to the kli that has that's making noise to awaken somebody, not to put him to sleep. That's the only kasha you have. The other heter for the pamoinim, the bells, is even if it's kli miyuchad. The only question you'll have is the Magen Avraham right away says the first time it brings out the heter of the bells is because it's not different than the kli that we're dripping on it to wake somebody up. It's mutter. The same thing in the pamoinim where it's meant to awaken people, to alert people, it's mutter. But the question is, if it's miyuchad l'kaf, then you're mechaber for it. Yeah. In the place where you're mechaber, that's miyuchad l'kaf. So that's the kasha we had before, that Achronim asked, that if it's miyuchad l'kaf, what's the heter? That's the kasha. So there's a bunch of truths to that.
Can you say that the Mokum mitzvah that it displaces the miyuchad l'kach?
Correct. The Mokum mitzvah you matter, yeah. Mokum mitzvah, even though it's miyuchad l'kach, it's mutter.
I just want to understand the mechanics. I can understand telling a goy to do something because that's going to be a shvus to shvus with Mokum mitzvah. We don't see anywhere that something that we have a Xera d'Rabbanan that you then will say because of the mitzvah
trumps it
on its own. It's going to be able to.
Correct. We'll see. There's the heter of a shvus by itself. The tzarech mitzvah is not mutter. Right. Only shvus to shvus.
So here, therefore, if you have that one of these sort of shemoneh-esrei complete, the other one is the miyuchad l'kach. Right. So then you Mokum mitzvah should not be enough to display.
To say no, it's miyuchad l'kach, the tzarech mitzvah, it's mutter.
It should not be.
It should not be mutter to the tzarech mitzvah.
I'm asking.
That's a good kasha, but they say that the tzarech mitzvah, the matter, this whole issa of technically shear, the matter with tzarech mitzvah. Not every time is a shvus to matter with tzarech mitzvah. We see later on that this issa, the rabbanon of shear, they were matter with tzarech mitzvah.
Built into the Xera, in other words. It's built into the Xera.
Built into the Xera, yeah. The matter with tzarech mitzvah.
Then maybe this explains another question I had. They used to make chasnas Friday night. Right. They would hire a goy to play.
Correct.
Things like that. What would be the heter to do that?
Shvus to shvus Mokum mitzvah.
What's a shvus to shvus?
Because playing klishir is a shvus.
Yeah.
And a goy is a shvus.
Right, but that's only to tell him to fix it on Shabbos.
No, fixing it is worse.
You're hiring him before Shabbos.
Even if you hire him on Shabbos, tell him on Shabbos to go play music for you.
Right.
What's this to play music in the rabbanon? The goy. The issa to play music is only issa de rabbanon.
Right.
The goy, the tell the guy is issa de rabbanon. It's a shvus Mokum mitzvah.
So,
to fix the kli is worse. To tell the guy to fix the kli. We'll see. To fix the kli, maybe it's a deraisa of a second one.
But if it's shemoneh-esrei kli.
Yeah, but if the issa music is shemoneh-esrei kli, it's only issa de rabbanon. To play music on Shabbos is only issa de rabbanon. Tell a guy to do it for you is a shvus to shvus.
The Mokum mitzvah.
Mokum mitzvah, yeah. By chassan, you can tell a guy to play music on Shabbos because the shvus to shvus the Mokum mitzvah.
So, can you tell a guy to do something for you that's on? Can you tell a guy to do something for you on Shabbos?
On the rabbanon, yeah. A shvus to shvus for Mokum mitzvah to tell a guy on Shabbos. Not just before Shabbos.
But according to the church, you just said that it was built into the Xera, that there's a special heter for
tzarech mitzvah.
Why couldn't Jew himself?
Could be a good. We'll see soon. We'll see in Siman. Could be a Jew himself that have to play music on Shabbos.
The Mokum mitzvah.
The Mokum mitzvah, yeah.
Right, that's all. Thank you. That's the point I'm trying to clarify. What do I need to come on to this?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, even a Jew himself should be able to play.
There is nothing to begin with, and what the mitzvah is going to be.
Yes, if you can say that a Jew himself that the clapping your hands is mutter, the tzarech mitzvah is mutter, or the pamoinim is mutter, the tzarech mitzvah.
Right. You don't need it.
So then why can a Jew himself play music on Shabbos? The tzarech mitzvah, he himself can play the instruments on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Who said that? Who said that?
You don't usually see that.
They don't say anymore. We don't say anything anymore. We'll see why soon. We'll see why soon.
We can say to bring his guitar. Play guitar on Shabbos. In the adult. Siman time. So you can bring him for Friday and play the whole Shabbos.
Fire tires.
I would. They don't like me there. I prefer not to be disturbing somebody's eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look in the later on Shalom Tes Seif Gimel in the Mishnah Berurah Seif Katan Ches. We'll get there more when we learn next week. But if you look in Shalom Tes Seif Gimel, it's the Mishnah Berurah Seif Katan Ches. Shalom Tes Seif Katan Ches. in the Mishnah Berurah. It says, V'yem Simchas Torah. See it?
Yeah.
V'yem Simchas Torah, mutter l'rakei b'shar she'oimrim kilusim the Torah, she'toin ha-Torah, kimin d'lespen ze el mishum Shavuos. It's only a Shavuos, and therefore it's mutter to do it on Shabbos. It says today, we're ain't on the wikim, I say it's klishir anyway, we're not balking in klishir, therefore you can go ahead, you can dance, you can clap. Our shar simchas al mitzvah gem yisum a filaki awesome. Other mitzvahs, it's awesome. Only simchas Torah is mutter, but shar mitzvahs is awesome. We spoke out before that not for every mitzvah it's mutter. We'll get to this more when we get to it. There's a gam the kvoid that Torah that will matter, because a mock mitzvah will matter. Ein kedai lahatir el atikuch berikud. V'loi kishkush b'pamoinim v'zagim v'kolshkin shakli shir da'asur. Ein kedai. That means the mock mitzvah will matter. The mock mitzvah will matter. This is the Rabbanon. Especially today, where there's no real, people don't know how to fix kli shir anyway, there's more of a kula. Difference of Torah, he says, there's mutter, it's a mock mitzvah, there's no isser, you're allowed to go ahead, and no isser of semi sakan shir kli shir. Should come out that if that's the case, everything is mutter. Even to play music is mutter on Shabbos. Says the Mishnah Berurah over here that even though it's mutter, it's not kedai to use kishkut b'pamoinim v'zagim, which is like symbols and stuff. And v'koshkin also shak l'shir, also you shouldn't do it. So you see that be'etzem you could do it. Any kedai, don't do it.
But when does he make that distinction between Simchas Torah and the
we'll get to it. We'll get to it next week. That we spoke out the whole shiloh of what's called the mitzvah, what's not called the mitzvah. We'll get to all that. So you see from over here that if you matter the mocha mitzvah, what do you matter for mocha mitzvah? Really, you matter everything for mocha mitzvah. You should be matter even a cliché for mocha mitzvah. Guys, go play a trumpet if you want on Simchas Torah. Now, once you matter everything. But says the Mishnah Berurah that it's not going to die if you matter regular cliché, because then it becomes a circle of favorites, and it says it's not going to die.
It's an interesting notion.
Ain't kedai.
It doesn't say it's obviously.
Yeah, it's not kedai to matter. But mashma from the Mishnah Berurah, the guy would come in on Simchas Torah with his trumpet. This fella, he didn't think he was a fan.
It's not a ver at all. Just say
we'll see soon why today it became a big issue. Fine, so that's all. If a Yisrael is doing it. If you're telling a goy to do it, that's a much bigger hecker. A goy to do it is shvus to shvus, mocha mitzvah. So that's zicham with him. We'll see why not today. Why today don't we have goy playing music on Bakasanis, on Shabbos, Shev Brachas, whatever. Okay, you see cotton base says the talking of rock my cheapos are current two filbalas. Even though they a lot of times do it with music, they whistle a tune. The one that they're doing was a tune. He's not doing anything. Mashma de'im manem b'shir osir. Says the Magen Avram, it's mashma that if somebody's going to go ahead and whistle a tune, it should be awesome. Afagaf the mutter l'shari b'peh, even though you're allowed to sing with your mouth. Hachashani the domi the kli shir. Says the Magen Avram that to sing with your mouth is fine, it's mutter. To whistle with your mouth, even though you're not doing a ma'isa, is mashma, it's awesome. U'makamakam, says the Magen Avram, nira li, I hold the shari. Even to whistle a tune is mutter. Kivin the loy ovid ma'isa, since he's not doing a ma'isa. That's what the Magen Avram holds. So the Magen Avram holds to whistle a tune on Shabbos is mutter. If you look in the Mishnah Berurah over here, there's a few Mishnah Berurahs we have to see over here. Now look at Mishmur Sifkan Gimel. Eilu shekaren l'chavreihem hayva afilu imanim hakoil ke'en shir. Even though he's doing it ke'en shir, shari l'gazu b'zeh hekid over the peh. I didn't make a gzeira. When you do the peh, they never made a gzeira of Shemi Yisakan Klishir. So here's the new heter. When you're doing it with your hands, you're dancing, that was part of the gzeira. When you're doing it with your mouth, they never included down in the gzeira. Some of you like sing on Shabbos, and some people that sing sounds nice. Still, there's no issur. But whistling, therefore whistling also, says the Magen Avraham, and the Mishur brings it down, it's mutter to whistle on Shabbos, even a tune. Now, I mean, we don't see that happening today. Most people do not whistle on Shabbos. And the question, so the Chazon Ish has a whole thing that whistling Samazai is a very good thing. Samazai says it's awesome.
I grew up Mefafish.
That's why my mother was at Mefafish.
Something to do with shading or something.
The Chazon Ish about it. It's very against whistling. The question where it comes from, what the issue is, but the Maisa, that's the. I'm not sure that's what it is. Focus going.
Go ahead. I know.
The Maisa whistling by us was one of the various chamuris almost. Whistling was one of the various chamuris. Shabbos for sure. But even during the week, people will.
Like in the times of the Ramah, it's not like that.
Right. In times of the Ramah. Yeah, in times of the Ramah, the Magen Avraham is allowed to whistle on Nikan on Shabbos. Yeah. It became. I'm not sure why. Whistling became a very big issue, and I'm not sure why. I know Chazon Ish is very against it. I know the minhag was. I mean, us when we grew up, we weren't allowed to whistle. Even to call somebody, people would put their fingers in their mouth and make up the. It was a big issue by us. Okay. You have to know what the halacha is. You have to know what the minhag is. This is halacha. Halacha is it's mutter. So if you see somebody whistling a tune on Shabbos, they're checking if it's wearing a yarmulke. That's the first thing you would do. But in the Magen Avraham it says it's mutter to whistle a tune on Shabbos. Okay, now the Mishmur says that to have a thing that you knock on Shabbos, a door knocker, which is miyuchad l'kach, is also. So let's say Sivka and Hay. Well, true, the Sivka and Dal also very important. Miyuchad l'kach, Rotz l'amish miyuchad l'ashmiya koil, chashir shem yichavan l'shir. A clear that's miyuchad for noise. It's also why? Because it's key shem yichavan l'shir. Now it says, "V'kolshkol ashmiya kol b'kli she'koyin kamerton." Kamerton is that's what they call it in English. Tuning fork. It's the thing they use for chazanim. So the Mishmur says, "Asa." Pshita the asa the kli shirhu v'gamu mekavan l'shir. Says asa. And then he says, "V'bal the pesach ninal v'niftach by near the mutal hakash by aldels with the shishma and shebayis of tzarech loy." Shazeh abad the miyuchad rak of tzarech by the aldels alinal. Some meant to make noise. Okay. Then he goes into it over here. He says. Sivka involved. Again, also the Shamish Kosav Atas Kamir Adesim the Shepebes the Mizem Mukhan to also live with Shabbos Oitze Perechis Sheshlan Pamoinim Bashmiya Kol Shepers Kmaorim Chalutot Pamoinim Al Atzei Achayim So Sefer Torah Kimut Ike Avidasa Lekola Vashach Shom Chalik Olam Mitam B'Kaimel Tzach Mitzvah Shorich Merchkot Simshon Lamates Lamuta Lerakad V'Simchas Torah V'Chvoy Da Torah V'Hokan Nami Tzach Mitzvah K'dei Sheyishmu V'Am V'Yekumu V'Ladam V'Krias Pesach the Aser, the Hasam Efshem in Acher, the Su, the Isaiah Pesach HaPereches. Another reason why it's mutter, Ein Mechavan Hashmiya Kol Klal Kiyim Little Sefer Torah. Different heter. So I'm Shar Ephraim, Shedaitei Shom L'Lechatchila and Lasses came B'Shabbos, or B'Mekoimoi Shenoag U'Hete B'Zeh Kedas HaMagen Avraham, Ein Limchas B'Yodai HaKalashon. So then he says it's mutter. Then he says, Yeah, if you look here, it's also a shal, which that's what common now. It used to be more common. They used to have things on doors, bells on doors. When you open the door, it would like swing and make noise.
Yeah.
I forgot what they used to call it.
Chime.
The chime.
So you know that's
right.
coming into your store.
Right. So there, by a storefront, the dukkha also because it's meant lashmar's chayil.
Right.
So here he speaks about it. Not so common anymore in houses, but some houses do have it. So it says, "V'chein in the middle of toyach hadelas, they let open a door. K'sheyadea sheyesh bo inbil talui. You know there is bells on the door. You let open them. I don't have a mind to open the door to make the noise. I want to get into the house. But it happens to be that there are bells on the door.
Like a psikration.
Yeah, it's a psikration, but the thing is that we said before that even though it's a psikration, there's always a psikration by noise. But here, the whole reason for the bells are to announce that you're coming. So it says like this: Gam ki gesort b'svars lataz amagavram anal lataz osev lamagavram shori. The rekish b'seich hadelas v'Shabbos ein mechavan lashmiya koil. I don't have a mind to make the noise when I'm walking in. I want to get inside. It happens to be when I'm opening up the door, it's making noise. When Divi Agrosh on the Siman Shanal says Shulchan Muchach to Usavi Gam Kataz, they keep in the Ingul Miyuchad lashmiya koil and afkamina b'mashu and mechavan l'zeh. The Gam be'el yirabah mitzadeh the ein lahokam mitam zeh l'chud. So he said by Preches that I opened it up because first of all it's a mitzvah, and second of all, when you're opening up the Preches, you're not mechavan to make the noise. So the same thing should be by the doors. They have those chimes on them. When you open it up, you're not mechavan to make the noise. It should be mutter. Says the Mishnah Berurah Meiser, it's not kedai. V'alkein bevadeh me'anochen sheyeshe me'em Shabbos and Invil ve'agabi ha'Pesach. Oisha yibak bekenu b'temer abemuchin stuff it up for yishmu korban. Abemokem atchak near the yachalismach al swar and now the hof kivushay nemechav al shmiya korban. So the Mishmur comes out off of the Maisa. If you have a door, then when you open it up, it makes those noises. So you decided to remove it before Shabbos. Now, if you come to somebody's house and they have it, you have to say, "I'm not walking into your house because you have those chimes on the door." They're allowed to walk inside, even though it's going to make the noise. Those things should be taken off before Shabbos. Then he says, Sifka and Zion, an interesting halacha here. Ayidei kli hamuyuchid v'yesh mekaymois shelakeach haShabbos b'Shabbos kli achar lahakos b'Shabbos. So it's interesting. We have over here that a kli hamuyuchid l'kach is awesome. You're not allowed to use a door knocker on Shabbos, according to the Ramah for sure, because it's kli hamiyuchid, it's meant to make noise. Any kli hamiyuchid for noise is awesome. How about have a special Shabbos knocker? A Shabbos knocker. Shabbos have a special knocker, right? If it's mutter or not. So it says over here that if it's more that he uses a special knocker for Shabbos. A Shabbos knocker is mutter.
For the Shabbos.
That's what it says.
But why? It's still a clear and yuchad.
Yeah, but it's
only for Shabbos.
He said it's for Shabbos is a hecker. It's meant only for Shabbos. So you're not going to come to be Misaka Klishir because you know I'm only using it on Shabbos. You know you're only using it on Shabbos.
Also
so it comes out
just to make noise. People should awake, get there.
Yeah, but the miyuchel l'kach it's also.
Yeah.
A clear miyuchel l'kach is also. Says the Mishnah Berurah over here that if it's clear miyuchel l'kach and you use it only on Shabbos, it's mutter.
But again, if you take it up a notch to the original Isser, which is Shema Yisakin, what's the difference if it's miyuchel or not?
No, because if I have it only for Shabbos, I know why do I have it only for Shabbos. It's a hecker that I won't go ahead and be Misaka Klishim. That's what he says. So the truth is, I remember, now it's not so gay anymore, but I remember growing up, door knockers are much more common.
Yeah.
And people would say that they're only meant for Shabbos. Because during the week you ring the bell. During the week you don't use the door knockers. 100 years ago I didn't have bells, so door knocker was for weekend for Shabbos. 30, 40 years ago when they had the bells and people still had both on the door. So then the bell was during the week and the knocker was for Shabbos. Today no one has knockers anymore. But when they had the knockers, some people used to tell you those knockers are meyuchad to Shabbos because they never use it during the week. I'm not sure that was a heter or not, but that's one heter they gave. And then he says, no,
if you have a bell, or like real bell outside, like that you...
Same thing as a door knocker. A bell is the same thing as a door knocker. Same idea. Because it's meant al shemoneh-esrei. Now if it's meyuchad to Shabbos, if it says Shabbos bell, then it's mutter. It comes over here, it's mutter. That's what it says. If it's a Shabbos bell, to meyuchad to Shabbos, then it's mutter. But then he says, the Masha Macha Shamash Beis HaKnesses ala Shulchan, the Shamash is to knock on the table to make it quiet. From Mashmiya Koil, the Hashke to Ab V'Chazar to Shatz, Ein V'zeh Isser, Afil Umaka Be'ezeh Davar, Kivin She'ein Nei Maka Be'Kli Meyuchad L'Zeh. Since he's not using a Kli Meyuchad, to take anything that he had there and would knock it on the table to make noise, then everyone should be quiet. Then it's mutter. It's not meyuchad l'kach. It's not meyuchad l'kach.
But even if it's meyuchad l'kach, it's for mitzvah. It's for making people be quiet for chazaka.
So it should be had to.
Yeah, mitzvah.
No, so we see before. It's interesting because we see before the whole thing with the paroiches and the atzachayim. They had the bells. We're not matter just for torah mitzvah. We have a tziruf over here, right?
Yeah.
We have a tziruf of torah mitzvah, and when you're doing it, you don't have a mind to do it for that. We have a bunch of tzirufim over there. Yeah, so those things that you bang on the table. I remember in the biggest medrash in Belgium, it's to show they have a special thing, of bells. Yeah. They have a special thing that you have. I remember I was in this medrash. They have this big leather thing, and with a thing they would hit it with, and it makes a lot of noise. I'm not sure why. I guess the wood on the leather makes a lot of noise. It was the biggest medrash, so they had this thing, they still have that thing, to knock when they want the house to quiet down. I'm sure they weren't choosing the power davening, and the chazan had to lazais, so they have this big thing that they hand looks like a hand on the leather thing, and they would bang, and it would make a lot of noise to keep them quiet. So the question is a clear meyuchad l'kach. That thing was set aside just for that. If it's a clear meyuchad l'kach, it should be often. So the time it then was, the only time they used the big shul was on Shabbos. The only time they used it on Shabbos, so it's a clear meyuchad l'Shabbos. So maybe it's mutter. You have to know if it's mutter or not. But that's the heter. We also used to have the shiloh, which listen on the gate today. I remember it used to be a style. Kids called, used to have bells hanging from them. Yeah, they used to have a little bell hanging from them, kids. And they would walk around and make noise. So what's the heter for that? The heter for that is because it's not meant for the noise. It's meyuchad to make noise, but it's not meant for the noise, and therefore it's mutter. Therefore those keler are mutter.
Today they have running shoes for kids that light up when they walk. I don't know if you've
That's a bigger problem.
That is a problem. Because
it's a much bigger problem.
To be that
no, that's a problem because it's batteries. Once you get to electricity, you have much bigger issues.
I don't know if it's batteries.
How does it light up?
Yeah.
It's just a small. We were talking about that before. Does batteries have the same status as electricity?
It's a shiloh. I'm not supposed to. Pashas, we know yes.
We were talking about alarm clock. We'll get
Yeah. Batteries are a problem. Anything that runs on batteries is if you make it go on Shabbos, let's stay away from it. And that's a situation. The Rosh doesn't have lights on them is a problem. I mean, during the week it's a problem. At Shabbos for sure it's a problem.
Let's say it wasn't batteries. Let's say it was just somehow the lights came on.
How would you make light? You're not going to make light on Shabbos. You're not going to light on Shabbos. You're not going to make light on Shabbos.
Right. So it's a problem even if it's not batteries.
Even if it's not batteries. Anything that makes light on Shabbos is also. What are you creating? When you make the light, you have to know what you're creating. There's another big issue that they speak about is which is so many different problems to it. So I'll go through the basic and then every thing in itself is on Shabbos. All the kids' toys. There's so many kids' toys that make noise. And they're meant to make noise. It's a clear meyuchad l'kach.
Yes.
So what's that table? Right? So many kids' toys we have today that you push a button, the thing pops up and it makes a noise, right? A moo or a rough, whatever it is, right? And they're made, I don't know if they still make it today, I'm not sure, but they're made to make noise. So the truth is, it would depend if the noise is meant as part of the game, part of the toy. If that you want the noise, so then it could be it's awesome. Because you want the noise to happen. A lot of times it makes a squeak when you make something and you open it up. So there, it could be it's mutter because you don't want the noise, you don't need the noise, it's a situation, not a problem over here. And it's not called a shma's kol of shir. Right? If it sings a song, then rather it's a problem. We're not talking about it sings a song. This makes noises.
The kids have like these little fire engines. And they put it as a truck and then sometimes the siren.
Right, the siren goes off. The siren is, it's not shir. The siren is very irritating. Right? It's not a shir. So it's a noise, but it's a kliyam yichel. It's meant to make that noise. So kliyam yichel we saw, even though it's not a shir, it's also to have those noises. So an adult to do it for the child, if let's say an adult is pushing the fire engine, and it happens to be it makes noise. You're not doing it for the noise. If you're doing it because you want the kid to hear the noise, then it's just awesome. Because kliyam yichel to make noise.
You know, they put by the cribs to sort of pacify a baby.
Right, it depends what. If they have those
mobiles.
Yeah, but those are all run batteries, electricity, no?
No.
Oh, you wind them, right? Right, you wind them, Tati. Yeah, you wind them. So we also have to do our Shabbos. Because that's a kliyam yichel, and that's already not even, that's a sheishma b'neima.
Right.
Then we had the Magen Avraham doing it to relax the kid. So there, rather, if it's the child needs it, and the child is in chayla, it could be its mutter. That's what the Magen Avraham says, that the chayla is mutter. So you're allowed to go ahead and do it. If the kid needs it, and every kid may have done like a chayla, and you want to wind it up on Shabbos, so you may have an issue of the winding it up on Shabbos, if that's called Masak and Mana, let's leave that out. But the thing itself, to make the noise, it could be mutter for a kid. The kid may have a din of a chayla. Find out before you do it, ask, and it could be its mutter. But the toys that the kids have that make noises, if you're pushing a toy for a kid and it's making noises, or at least I was thinking push it or turn or balls will pop off and you'll be heading after 5 minutes. Right, those things, if you're doing it because the kid wants the noise, it's a kliyam yichel kach, maybe it's awesome. If you're doing it just to push it, you don't want the noise, then it's mutter. Then it's mutter. But if you're doing it because you want the noise, the klal is anything you're doing because you want the noise is a kliyam yichel kach and it's awesome. But if you're not doing it for the noise, then it could be it's mutter. The kid, you have to stop a kid from playing with it. A kid, let him play with it, it's not a problem.
So a squeeze toy, like
right, but a squeeze toy, it's meant to make the noise.
Yeah, so the kid can play with it, but we should take
right, we shouldn't play with it. You should not play with it.
You still play with it?
We still CC based today,
okay.